Hello, my name is David Siddons and I'm president of the David Siddons Group, and I've had the privilege of selling real estate in Miami, residential real estate for the last 14 years. This video, we are going to explore what are the best new construction condos in Miami for 2022. And that means the ones that will be finished between now and actually all the way up to 2026. So let's get into these, what we consider the best 5. You can read more about the others through my website and we'll also give you alternative options. This is focused on the luxury condos. We're not going to look at the mid-range or the low level. This is purely the top of the food chain. So let's start you with number 1, which is Paragon, Miami Beach. So first on the list is Paragon. This is a new Miami Beach project that's located on what's appropriately called Millionaires Row. It's located down at 53rd and Collins. It's designed by Rem Koolhaas, OMA Design Group. Rem Koolhaas, for those who may remember, was also the architect who sat behind the very well-known and very, very successful Park Grove in Coconut Grove. So if you want to look at his previous architecture, you can look to that building. This is 82 residences. There is 8 guest suites, then 2 duplex penthouses. And what's interesting about this project, and let's get right into why it's considered one of the best, is, well, first of all, let's discuss the architecture. In the last 20 years, it's probably got one of the most unusual architectural setups that you'll see. It's almost a series of triangles that are positioned in front of each other. And you have the front units and the back units, which are probably a little bit more, let's say, atypical. But the ones in between are staggered, and they're staggered with these points, which are denominated as the terraces of the bedrooms. What does that mean? It means the living room separated from the bedroom quite clearly, not just by where they're positioned in the unit, but also they have their own terraces. In many buildings you'll go to, you'll see one big wraparound terrace all the way around, which obviously means that the master bedroom and the living room kind of get the same terrace experience, which isn't great for privacy if that's what you want. Now, fundamentally, as with all luxury buildings, you're talking about very high-level finishes, very high-level design, high-level amenities. Of course, concierge, valet, pool, everything that you'll typically expect with this kind of building. Finish-wise, you're talking about 10-foot ceilings, you're talking about 10 to 12-foot wide terraces. It is coming in as one of the most expensive dollar per square foot buildings in Miami. It's coming in around $4,000 a square foot, give or take. Of course, price points change, so if you want the up-to-date price list, give me a call, we can discuss prices, we can discuss floor plans. What's important to look at and go into is what it competes against and why it's considered one of the best. Well, right now, if you go to the beach, one of the top ranking buildings is going to be 87 Park. It's going to be Four Seasons. You're going to be looking at Arte. These are the biggest, most desirable players right now in the market. And why? Because the luxury sector in many ways moved away from the South Beach location, moved away from the South of Fifth. People wanted something away from the tourists, a little bit quieter, a little bit more private, a little bit more primary. It's not designed for tourists, it's designed for the people who might want to live all year round. So these units are designed big, and that means the smallest units are around 2,200 square feet, and they go up from there. Now, additionally, when you think about the geography of Miami and the privacy of these beaches, you've also got the accessibility to other shops and restaurants, because if the building is in the middle of nowhere, it serves a lesser purpose than those buildings that have at least accessibility to good shops and restaurants. 10 blocks from the building to the south, you've got Soho Beach House. To the north, you've got the Bal Harbour shops and restaurants and the Surfside area. And of course, just down the street, you've got Fontainebleau. South Beach is still very easily accessible. You can get to South Beach in about a mere 15 minutes. Quite easily, you can also go across the bridge to Miami proper and go into the design district, downtown, and Brickell areas, which have become a central focus for anybody living in Miami. Better shopping, better retail, better restaurants. It's now often found on the mainland and not the beach. But the beach itself in this area is absolutely gorgeous. So this makes our list. Let's move on to number 2. Number 2 on the list, and this is located in one of the most desirable neighborhoods you could possibly hope to be in Miami, and certainly economically the most stable. And this is Vita in Coconut Grove. This is designed by a very well-known architect, Ugo Colombo, and if you've seen his other projects, you'll know that he built Flatiron, he built Santa Maria, he built Bristol Towers, he built Grosvenor House, and now he's building Vita. Vita's a little different to the rest of the pack. Usually when you get to luxury buildings, people talk about going vertical, talking about high rises. This is a more low-level project. There's only 7 floors, but these are all big units, and there's a very limited amount of units available. So it's more of a house experience. It's boutique, it's extremely private. And what makes it special is it sits in a location, which is called Grove Isle, where you cannot ever have buildings built around you, because everything around you is the water. So there's no road in front of you. There's no buildings, there's no park. You're looking straight out onto the water. And because you're on the tip of the island of Grove Isle, you're never going to have anything built around you. So you'll see many different types of views. You can see Key Biscayne, you can see South Beach, you can look onto the mainland and see Brickell and see other parts of the Grove. So fundamentally, it becomes very, very special. And given the dollar per square foot price point, which is coming in at, which starts around 2,000 a square foot, again, pick up the phone, give me a call, because price points do change as this project moves forwards. You're talking about a building which is half the price to some of its competitors on the mainland. So granted, it doesn't have the beach, but the beach isn't that far away. What it does have is accessibility to the heart of Coconut Grove in one direction, which is a mere 5 minutes, or the heart of Brickell, which is about another 5 to 8 minutes in the other direction. So it's extremely well located. But you also have something else which I want to brush on, which is so important when it comes to choosing luxury. Luxury is something that's a little bit more unique, it's less mass produced. The finish on this product is going to be exceptional. When we typically get into buildings, we're often what we're calling dealing with a designer-ready product, which means, yes, you could get options of floorings, yes, you could get some other options of what kitchen you want or bathroom finishes you want, but there's still often a lot to do. Added light build-out, so drop ceilings, soffit lighting, audio systems, millwork, wallpapers, blinds and blackouts. So the list goes on and on and on. And groups like Design Solutions, which is my wife's company, are experts at this and really transform these incredible condos into the best product. This building has a lot of those already baked into the product itself. So you're already going to get Sonos systems. You're going to get a high-level retractable door system. You're going to get paneling in the bathroom. You're going to get a higher grade marble. You're going to get more of a built-out kitchen. You're going to get trimless lights, trimless AC. These things come at a hefty premium, but in this case, they're coming into the equation. Now, when you get to the bigger units in the building, like the penthouses, and there's a number of them, these units have very large terraces. The terraces are big anyway. They're about 12 foot deep, about 40 foot long, so much bigger than average. But what's really special is once you get to the penthouses, they have their own private pools. And I don't mean those glorified bathtubs above the ground pool experiences that we've seen with other buildings. These are legitimately 5.5 foot deep swimming pools that really do function as you would expect a pool to function in a single family home, with the terrace, with the accessibility, with the functionality of what you get with a single family home. So who is this perfectly built for? Well, the empty nesters, the ones who are coming in, maybe downsizing from your big house on Pinecrest, or you're coming from New York or California and you want the space but you don't want a house. Who does this compete against? Well, right now, the current #1 building in the Grove, which makes our top 10 of resale buildings, is Park Grove, an exceptional building, very well served. Again, currently the dollar per square foot for that building in Tower 1 is well above the cost of this particular product. So Vita's proposing good value and also a very high level of finish, which is quite exceptional. Again, floor plans are all important. You've got large footprints here, 3-4 bedrooms, some cases bigger units that you can really have as a primary residence. So that is my #2. Number 3, 5 Park in South Beach. 5 Park is advertised as 5 Park Miami Beach, but it's in the South Beach area. It's located at 500 Fulton Road. Now, admittedly, it's not on the sand. If you want sand, new construction, go to Paragon. But if you are happy to be in a prime key neighborhood, such as South Beach, and you want accessibility to all the great restaurants that you get south of 5th, this gives great accessibility to all of that. It's on the back side of South Beach. So what it provides is incredible intercoastal views and incredible beach views. Now, in truth, there's a lot of discussions that people will have about what is the better view to have. And what can be said about this is that if you haven't seen the intercoastal views in the evening that run from the beach looking towards Brickell and downtown, you are missing something. They're absolutely spectacular. The beach views are beautiful in the day, but the evening views are incredible when you look over into the downtown area. And this building really capitalizes on that. The other reason we're going to get into why it makes our list is the build out of this project. This project is absolutely done to the nines. It has everything that you would expect: pool, concierge, valet, gym, blah, all the stuff that you typically get. But what it also has is a full living experience. They have suites where you can work. They have children's games rooms. They have a gym inside and out. There's a lot of extra facilities that this project has. And again, if you want to get into the details of the floor plans, we did another video previously with one of the directors of the sales at the project, and we go into what we prefer as the best floor plans and best lines. Dollar per square foot, it's still going to be better than resale product that you're going to see in a lot of other buildings in the neighborhood. Cheaper than Apogee, it'll be cheaper than Continuum, it'll be cheaper than a number of other expensive buildings like Glass and a few others I could name through the South Beach area and the South of 5th area. It does have beach service as well. They have a beach club that you can use. But what I like about this is that within the location, it's got easy access, much like the other buildings that we mentioned, to what we call Miami proper, which is the heart of Miami, Brickell, downtown, and Edgewater, which have become very central and centrally used because of the shopping, the retail, the whole experience. So again, you've got a full service building here to a high level. And it's been built by a group who's responsible for a number of very well-known buildings in Miami: Park Grove, Grove at Grand Bay, yes, Terra Group, also responsible for 87 Park. So if you want to look at previous product that they've done, look no further. And these buildings make the top building list in Miami on a resale level. Now let's move on and get to number 4 on the list. And this time we're going to move into a different neighborhood, and we're going to go into Brickell. So I think it's important to say that not everybody wants to be on the beach. Urban living, the liveliness, the attractiveness that you get, whether it's New York City or Miami, there's a lot of desire to be in a central location. And also because, let's face it, Brickell is the engine of Miami. It's the second biggest financial district in the US, and it's home to some of the biggest banks and biggest hedge funds you will find on the planet. And so in light of that, up until this point, Brickell didn't have a lot of ultra luxury product. What did it have? It had the Four Seasons, which is probably reigning the best building currently in Brickell. But St. Regis is the next building that we're going to talk about, which comes in on 18th and Brickell. What makes this special? Well, first and foremost, the location. If you don't understand Brickell, it's important that you know there is a big difference between the central part of Brickell and the south side of Brickell. South side, quieter, more leafy, more green. Also, much better accessibility to US 1, whether it's the airport you have to go to, or whether it's into Design District, or whether you want to go south into Coconut Grove and Coral Gables. It's very well positioned. So, the building is easily understood. Just cut it into 4 pieces. The front 2 units are the bigger units. These are the 4-bedroom units coming in at around 3,400 square foot. And the back units, on the north side, it's around 2,600 square feet. And the south side back corner is around 2,375 square feet. Again, these are designed for primary residence. The St. Regis brand is world renowned. You can go online, you can look at the St. Regis brand, you can look at the St. Regis in Bal Harbour, and you can understand that they are classified in the top 10 best luxury hotel brands on the planet, and for good reason. And we expect that the delivery of this St. Regis project will be no different. Coming in at around $1,800, $1,900 a square foot, it's certainly more expensive than the competition that has previously existed in Brickell, but it is also head and shoulders above everything else. And up until this point, we haven't had a lot of luxury choice. But with all the mass migration from the northeast, Brickell is still a very big focus for many buyers. And that's why we felt it important to put it on the list. And now we're going to move from Brickell and we're going to go all the way north to our fifth choice, which is the Bentley Residences in Sunny Isles. Now, Sunny Isles is a big market, a very hot market, very desirable, and it's home to a lot of new buildings. In fact, there's a number of buildings that got very close to making it on the list above Bentley. But we chose this because we wanted a more well-rounded report. But I could equally mention the Aquilina building, which is also very good, and the St. Regis sister building, which is very much like the building in Brickell, but more to the north. What about Bentley? Well, I'll be honest with you. The original story that I assumed that Bentley would be about would be one that would match other car buildings that have come out in Miami. Now, I wasn't super happy with some of the other brands that had produced condos, and I felt that it was a bit of misdirection, and their performance really showed. Let's go to Porsche. Porsche did suffer. It didn't do as well, and I thought, is history going to repeat itself? But no, they learned some lessons here and they've done a different product. Certainly on paper and the plans, it looks to be a significant upgrade from what the Porsche building was offering. First and foremost, they took the car elevator and they moved it to the side. They've also restructured the organization, the logistics of how that car elevator will operate. So let's get into why I believe that this building is really making the list, and it really comes down to the floor plans. What you've got here is, again, cut the building into four corners. You've got four different types of units. What's different and special about those? Well, quite simply, they have enormous functional terraces. They have very large garages, which are around 1,550 square feet, which is much bigger than you'd normally see and functions much like a single family home. But what really sets it apart is when you get to these terraces. They've managed to put lighting and fans and ACs onto their terraces, and they work them in such a way that they really integrate the inside to the outside of the building. And then again, they've got swimming pools on the terraces, but they're not raised above the ground and they're not glorified jacuzzis as I've seen in other buildings. They're actually literally sunken into the units, so they do operate much better. But when I look at the floor plans, which are around 3,000 square feet, and we look at the price point, which is coming in under 2,000 square foot, it's quite a compelling product to consider. Now, if you want a bigger unit, you're going to look at buildings like Aquilina. You will consider other buildings as well that will give you bigger footprints. And right now, the top buildings in the Sunny Isles area could be considered Aquilina, Turnberry, and the Ritz-Carlton. Again, those are detailed on my best condos in Miami resale product, which is a different conversation altogether. But the building at Bentley is well put together, well designed, beautifully finished. Again, I look at what they've done here from an independent perspective. Forget the fact that it's Bentley. I have zero interest that it's a car brand. It's more about how they're finishing this and how special it is and how unique it is. But this makes the list. And again, for more details, pick up the phone and give me a call. I understand that those who are watching this video are probably going to choose the neighborhood first and the building second, or at least you'll shortlist your neighborhoods. And that's why we've tried to make this kind of varied across the whole range of the Miami market. But with our Condo Geek software and with our analytics, we're not just going to be able to advise you on one of the best lines, but we're going to be able to show you the right numbers. And we're going to be able to show you historical data from across the market so you get very clear peripherals about what's going on. So I hope you find this video very useful. Please read the article in full, and any questions, as always, Follow me, like me, see my information below, and see you next time for another Davidson's Group video.